This is episode 50 of the Hybrid Coaching Podcast. In this episode, JK and I are going to talk about, is Anthony weird? We're also going to talk about some listener questions that we got, as well as address some of the comments where we address the decathlon athletes and how they might do in a HYROX. We talk about managing your nerves and your butterflies before a race and at the start line, having multiple goals during a race, and more. So let's get into it and let's make hybrid fitness work for you. What up, JK? I'm so happy to be here.
What's going on? That was the best
Yes.
start, Anthony. How are you, mate?
I am good. Did you know? So we are recording this. This is like the second time ever we've done this. It is past midnight for me. We are on the same day.
We are. We barely are on the same day, mate. There's only 7 hours of the day that we are. Is that right? 7 hours normally?
No, we're 17 hours.
Yeah, meaning
Yeah.
there's
So,
seven
so you mean,
hours.
yeah. So there's
Yeah,
7 hours that we're actually on the same time zone.
yeah, correct. But not for long. I'll be in your neck of your neck of the woods this time next week.
Ooh, so next week we're gonna be able to schedule it. I don't know what time zone Tennessee is. I think it's actually split in half. I will look that up and get back to you. Uh,
Yeah.
but you will be in, oh, you're going to Atlanta first.
We're actually flying into Tennessee,
Okay.
um, and then driving to Atlanta on Friday, but fairly sure that's the same time zone as well.
Nope.
But yeah, so
So
next
are you guys in Nashville? Is that where you're going to be?
Nashville, yes.
So Nashville is Central Daylight Time,
Yeah.
uh, which is 2 hours ahead of me. Uh,
Okay.
Atlanta, where you're going to drive to, is Eastern Daylight Time, which is going to be 3 hours ahead of me.
Okay. Okay, cool. So this time next week, our next podcast will be same but different.
Same, but
Um,
different.
yeah.
So, little thing that I noticed, this is episode 50, by the way. Very excited for
Wow.
that. We've reached 50, half a century. Uh, what that means is I was going back to look at like, okay, because I know sometimes we put like multiple episodes in a week, like on some things and what the difference is. Our first episode that we published was on April 30th, 2024. So we're 13 days away from that.
Okay. That's cool, man.
So
It
two
feels
weeks.
like,
Yeah.
hey, yeah. We're gonna have to do something special in 2 weeks' time then.
We'll celebrate your Atlanta win.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. 2 weeks' time. Um, I remember, Anthony, when we started, Georgie and I were living in Glasgow, and that feels like a lifetime ago now. So, it's fascinating that it's only been almost a year.
Yep. All right. Uh, let's get into some of the stuff we have on the docket today. That's going to include something I've told you, but some of these it might be new to you. We're going to talk shortly about somebody contacted me about the gym that I showed yesterday.
Mm,
They said I don't have 40 million, but we can talk about the gym. So I'll just tell you a little bit about that conversation. Um, we got a few comments that I will read out. Not all of them, but some interesting ones. And I think actually one or two of them might spark a conversation that could take up a lot of time. Um,
okay.
I put a note in here, and we might start with this, but I I just got home from a run a little bit ago. I did a very late run, and when I got home, um, I did some weird things, and Lauren looked at me afterwards and said, "I don't know if you're weird or if I'm weird." And asked her what, and then we talked about it. And I think the consensus is that I am weird myself. And so I'm going to ask you, and maybe our audience can tell me if they do some of the things that I do, or if I'm just strange. And everybody's weird in their own way, so that's
Yep.
fine.
Okay.
Um,
So intrigued with this, by the way.
yeah, and then we're gonna get into some of the topics we actually you and I had discussed, which
Yep.
is managing your nerves or butterflies before a race and at the start line. How do you do it? And what do you do when you get that? Like this is a question as coaches we get a lot, right?
Yeah.
So we have that. Having multiple goals during a race. Some should be achievable and others should be like reach or stretch goals and milestones. So like, what type of goals do you set for yourself? I want to talk about easy means easy. I get a lot of people that like JK, even you, we talked about this, I think, this week. You're like, I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling so good. And then, you want to go like hit a workout really hard, even though it's an easy day because you're feeling good. And then what does that do? By the end of the week, you're burnt up and you're like, oh man, that day really took it out of me. And so if you hit too
Mhm.
many of your easy days with intensity, that starts to get you into that overtrain. And so we want to overreach, not overtrain. So just remember easy means easy. And what workouts you're supposed to hit, those are the ones that you need to hit with
Yeah.
the limited amount of intensity that I know I program within a large volume program. And IJK, I think you're similar.
Sure. Yep. Yep.
Uh, and then I got a request to do more science overviews. We've done that a couple times. And so I'm happy to do that. And I'll bring that back if anybody has specific topics they want to talk about. And I will do some research into, and we can discuss studies, or I'll just go find them on my own. Either way, that's a request I got. I guess that one's not really a topic, but something we can say.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
then this weekend coming up, I know like we've said, we're not pundits, but we're gonna maybe do a little strong arm thing here. We have something that JK and I have discussed briefly with another member, and I think we're going to start it. And so stick around to the end of the episode to hear what that is.
Awesome.
Um, and if you guys are into it, leave a comment, write a review, let us know. Leave a comment and ask us questions too. And I think that little
Absolutely.
hand wave JK just did means Georgie's home.
Georgie has just arrived home
That
from her
is
day,
the best part of the day.
her best part of the day. Yeah. Um, Hello. We are
Um,
indeed.
all right, so I'm gonna get into real fast. I just wanted to say, yes, someone did email me very shortly after I posted last week's episode about where I showed the gym. And if you guys don't
Oh,
know
the
what I'm talking
gym. Yeah.
about, go back and look at it. It looks like a fun place to be. They have an idea for a gym. They contacted me. I don't know if it'll go anywhere. But that was pretty interesting for me to see the response for that. And it's really encouraging when I see that other people in the community have these similar ideas, and there's other people that have the means to act on it as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. May
Um,
I ask, did you have the chat?
did I have the chat? We've
Did you have a
emailed back
chat?
and forth a couple
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So
Yeah.
very, very cool stuff. All right, JK, am I weird?
In your own way. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm gonna ask
Um,
you if you do something, okay? Because I
all
do
right.
it. Well, actually, I shouldn't say if I, well, whatever. I already said I do it. Um, so do you ever make like little bets with yourself?
We've spoken about this. You know I do.
Okay.
So hang on. Right. Yeah. No, wait. You keep going. Keep going. So to answer that, sorry, yes, I bet myself every day. Heaps.
Do you make little bets with yourself like in the middle of a workout?
Yes.
You do.
Like all the time.
Maybe I'm not the weird one then. Okay, this is great. So I make little bets with myself, and I'll give you an example because this is a real life example. Like a week into Lauren and I going out, right? Maybe a week into us dating, I had a really hard workout I was doing. It was about halfway through the workout. And I remember looking at the clock and telling myself, like, you know, I definitely have past of superstitions and like seeing signs and stuff, right? But I was about halfway through the workout, and I remember telling myself I set like an aggressive time goal that I had to finish a workout in, a very aggressive time goal. And it was, I think, like a minute faster on the second half of the workout that I've already completed at like a pretty good pace back then. Um, Laura and I had been going out for about a week, and I hit my goal. So it was like a minute faster on the back half of this workout than what I did on the front half. And I bet myself, and I had set this aggressive time goal, and I said, if I can do this, and I said this to myself in my head. I said, if I can do this, I'm gonna marry Lauren. Like we're like dating for like a week. Uh, so
Oh, this
I
is
knew
so
like
good.
right then. And when I hit it, and I like it was very difficult, but I pushed myself to do it. I was like, oh yeah, I got this.
This is so good.
So
That's
that's those are the kind of like little bets I make, right? Well,
yeah.
I made one of those I made two of them actually during my run tonight. But the one is I was coming around the neighborhood, finishing up my run, and I had 30 seconds. I was pretty far away from the house. Like was at like around the corner, and it probably would usually take me like maybe a minute, 50 seconds to get home from the point I was at if I just kept jogging.
Yeah.
And I looked at my watch, and I had like 33 seconds maybe until the next top of the minute. Um,
Yeah.
And so I did my last stride, but I told myself, and I make these little bets with myself, like foregone conclusions now, that I told myself if I get back to the house, like to our driveway, which is usually like the ending point, right? If I get back to the house um before the minute turns over, like it
Yeah.
before it's 1 second past the minute or whatever, like right on time, I was like, Lauren wins worlds. And I hit the car, boom, hit my
Boom.
stopwatch, boom, right at the minute mark. I was like, oh,
Perfect.
perfect.
She
When I do
wins
this stuff, like
world.
I don't let myself look at my watch. Like I just went hard sprint. I was like, it's a sign for me.
Now,
Well,
one
and
you
so, well, the
yeah.
reason is I told you, like, I walked into the house, right? And I was
Mm,
pumped after that. Like, I was a little sweaty, but I
yeah.
was pumped. I was like, I walked into the house and I walked by the kitchen and I walked by Lauren and I went over and the Lily's TV had still been on and I go to turn it off, like she's in bed. And I go turn it off, but as I'm walking over there, I was like, "Oh yeah, champion!" And I still had my headphones in and stuff, so like I couldn't hear a lot. But I turned around and Lauren had laughed at me, and that's when she asked me, "Are you weird or am I?"
You, however, she didn't know that the reason why you said champion and the reason why you were weird is because Lauren just won worlds.
Yeah,
Can I ask you a question? And I
yeah,
know the answer. Have you done that, something like that about me?
uh-huh.
Yep,
I do things like that all the time. I'm
all
not
the
going to tell you the
time.
answer.
No,
No,
no, that's
I do
okay.
that. I do that. Depends on what it is. I usually. Yeah, I don't know. I make little weird bets with myself. Lots of times I make them easy, like things that I know for sure are gonna be like, I got this.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
when
think,
I set a hard goal and I still hit it, that's what makes me smile.
yeah, yeah.
I'm curious for
I do it
everybody
all
else
the time.
out there. Everybody that's out there, if you can leave a comment and tell me, do you make little bets with yourself? What are your superstitions? What do you have that you like do that you know, like do you push yourself to a point so that you can imagine things will happen?
Yeah, yeah. I definitely do, and I think a lot more people probably do, but probably don't want to admit it either. But I'm as weird as you are. Moral of the story, Anthony.
Nice. What was the last bet you made?
Um,
If I finish this workout, I'm not
the
going to drop the
last
ring in the
bet.
ocean.
Yeah. No, the last bet I made was actually I haven't done it in a while, to be honest. Um, and from a coaching perspective, it's because I haven't needed to push myself to that extent, Anthony. So you should be proud of me for that.
Yeah. Um, all right. So the next thing we are going to talk about is going to be the listener comments and questions we got from last week's episode. There's a few of them. I'm just going to read a few. I'm going to read three of these. Just some responses too. So to start with, somebody said Iron Man equals the fittest in endurance. So somebody thinks an Iron Man is the fittest in endurance, right?
Yep. Yep.
All right. So here's the question that I have because I know my opinion on this, but curious for you. I'm very curious about this one actually. Um, Decathletes are by far the fastest in fitness and would rule HYROX type compromised running events, was the comment.
Decathletes would.
Yeah. What do you think?
Wow. I just oh my own opinion is that I highly disagree. Highly disagree. I'm not saying that they're not fit, right? I'm sure they are, like for their own sport and their own skills that they need to master, but they would definitely not just walk into a HYROX and do extremely well. They'd do well maybe, but they wouldn't do extremely well.
So
And that's just because
that's
they're not.
that's a point too, is like, of course they're gonna do well. Like just like a CrossFitter, like a games level CrossFitter will do well. Like it's no surprise that somebody who works out a lot does well in a fitness race, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, do you think they would be able to crack into the top 15? Not a chance.
not a
Uh,
chance. Not a chance.
and
No.
the reason I say that is because I'm going to read you the 10 decathlon events. Okay. And
Yep.
I want you to tell me if you can point out why I think they would not uh, crush or rule a high rocks. Here's the 10 events. And
Yep.
this is what they do. So day 1, 100-meter dash, long jump, shot put, high jump, 400-meter dash. Day 2, 110-meter hurdles, discus throw, pole vault, javelin throw, 115-meter run. Or
Well,
sorry, the
the
1,500-meter run, not 150. So
1500.
1,500. Sorry,
Well,
typo.
the first the first reason is because their longest event is three and a half 4 minutes, right? 3.5, 4.5 minutes. They're never extending over 5 minutes, right? That's the first thing. I'm assuming their aerobic capacity is fairly sound, is fairly good, but they probably don't do the volume that is
I'm
anywhere near to what we do.
there's too many skill-based events to do the amount of aerobic that they need, the aerobic volume. I
Correct.
don't see
Yep.
anything in here because like you said, the longest event, everything there is high power output. Nothing there is sustained effort.
Correct.
Like
Yep.
the longest event is 4 minutes long, and like these guys aren't the fastest in the world at that because you know, they're not running 1,500-meter world records. They're doing good in the 1,500 compared to the rest of the people that have to do all this other stuff. So it is like, you know, over 4 minutes or whatever it's going to be. They're not the
Yeah.
fastest in the world at that.
Yeah. Agreed.
And
Yeah.
it's the last event too. So they have like all these high power output stuff. I just don't I don't see them. They would be able to complete a HYROX. They would probably do okay, but I'm not saying that they wouldn't jump in and all of a sudden be an elite 15 athlete.
No, no, not at all.
And that's just because
Um,
of different disciplines. They have so much they have to train for, so much skill work they have to do. And even though, four of their events are running, the 100 meter, 400 meter, 110 hurdles, and a 1500 meter, they're just not, no, there's no sustained effort. You're talking an hour.
yeah,
Where's your
exactly.
hour event?
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right. The last question I'm going to read. Another great listen, guys. Thanks for a lot of your efforts. Super valuable. Got a question for you. In your opinion or experience, what are the top three key indicator workouts, lifts, or performance trials that correlate most strongly with improved HYROX performance? e.g., 10K time trial, specific strength benchmarks, etc.
Mm. Do you want me to go first
You
or?
go ahead.
Hmm. I think the answer to that for an individual is dependent on the individual. Sorry to say it that way, right? But I find that the best running test is probably between a 10 kilometer and a half marathon, dependent on the individual, dependent on the individual. So for some, it might actually be good to test your half marathon, and get your half marathon pace to understand what particular pace you could potentially do a HYROX in, or you could do a 10K now. It depends on your history with running, or not much history, right? Depends on what event. Um, on top of that, I can only answer, yeah, as the question stated, in my opinion and own experience. I don't know, Anthony, like I personally think that my compromise test that you've given me maybe half a dozen times is a good test for me.
You talk about the running
Um,
and burpees.
just running and burpees, just 6 rounds for the listeners to know, 6 rounds, 4 time, 400-meter run, 25 burpees to plate. Um, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, testing my ability to flush out lactate.
Yeah.
Um, those are my two, half marathon or 10K, and that workout. I don't necessarily think there's a pure strength test that is really important. They're all important, but they're not truly important, if that made sense.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I don't see a lot of specific workouts that would be like, oh, if you do well at this, you're going to be amazing at high rocks. Like it's a different test, right? So I would say if there was something I was gonna pick, um, I would say somebody with a certain level of strength, and what that strength is, I don't know. I'd have to like really probably dive into that, but somebody that would like if somebody at this level of strength could hit this level of FTP on a bike test or something, and could run a half marathon in this time, and like you had those three things, and I don't know what that would be yet. I'd have to like figure it out to correlate it, but those three things, if you can hit this level here and then this level here and then this level here, you're going to do really well. Like then you
mm,
could say you do well. But if like you can hit these two levels but can't hit the first one, it doesn't matter. If you can hit the
yeah.
first one and not the other two, it doesn't matter. So like it would have to be a combination or some kind of function of multiple tests that's like hitting gates. Like once you can open this level, then you can move on to the next one. And if you can get that, then you can move on to the next one.
I was about to say that, right? I was about to say like something that is kind of like a cut down version of of intensity. Or sorry,
Mm.
if that made sense. Like not a cut down, but like once you accomplish this, you go to the next level and et cetera, et cetera. But as you said, I'm trying to think of exactly what it was. Listeners, ask us the same question maybe in 3 or 4 weeks, and we might have a specific workout for
Maybe
you.
we'll have an
Maybe.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah. But just on that, Anthony, I did that workout that I just said. 6 rounds for time, 400-meter run, 25 burpees to plate. I've done that, I'm going to say 4 or 5 times with you, Anthony. And I'm fairly certain, well, sorry, my time I did 2 weeks ago was 16:38. 16:38. So for anyone who wants to have a crack at that and try to beat me, please, by
It
all
was not a
means.
PR though, right?
It wasn't a PR.
So,
No, it
but
wasn't.
the your PR was done on a motorized treadmill where you set the pace. The most recent one was done on an assault runner.
Correct.
So you did a 16:38 on an assault runner.
Yes. Which is key because as we should know, both motorized, or sorry, not even both, but running on a treadmill versus an assault runner versus outside is very different, right? So I did 16:38 on an assault runner, 6 rounds, 400-meter run, 25 burpees to plate.
So just for reference, that if anybody wants to know, JK is doing one round in 2 minutes and 46 seconds. That's so he's doing 2 minutes and 46 seconds per 425 burpees.
Yeah,
So
two
400
plate.
meter run on an assault runner and 25 burpees to a plate in 2 minutes and 46 seconds. So if
Yeah.
you're running, and I think you were running a little faster than that, but that means that if you were running at a 6 minute per mile pace on an assault runner and you jumped off, take a couple seconds to jump off, a 6 minute per mile pace on an assault runner takes a minute and a half to hit 400 meters, which would only leave you with a minute 16 to do 25 burpees to a plate. And then you got to do that 5 more times.
Mm,
That's the pace you're moving at, and that's really fast. And you did have faster rounds and then slower rounds, but I'm just saying like you're
on
moving
average.
pretty quick, especially
Yeah.
on an assault runner and on those burpees.
Georgie just told me she's going to get it done tomorrow.
Do it. Tell Georgie she can. Let's think of something. Do you think she could beat my time?
Oh, she actually can't run at the moment. We actually
Oh
haven't told
no.
you, but she's got a bit of an ankle sprain at the moment. But I think that's a great race. Yeah, that's a great race. What's your time? You'd know.
I'm trying to pull it up right now. I was trying to stall while I got to it. But
That's a great
so my best time on it so far is 18:54.
plus
So
um
I was about 309 per round.
per round. Okay.
I also did it on an
And I
assault runner.
was about to ask, assault runner? Okay.
That last time I did it,
Well,
I was in Salt Lake City too. So maybe I'll redo it sometime.
yeah. What
Yeah, high
higher
altitude.
elevation and salt,
Yeah.
yeah. 1850 what? 1850.
1854.
Okay. All right. It's good to know. Georgie's just going to be training precisely for that event now.
Great. All right. Let's get on to a couple coaching things. So the first one I want to talk about, um, a very special person asked me this. So, uh, managing your nerves or butterflies before a race and at the start line. Um, how do you do it? Do
Yep.
you
I
get
like it.
them? Do you get them, JK? And if so, like, how do you manage it?
Well, I think the first thing I'll say is managing or sorry, getting them in the first place, getting nervous, getting those butterflies is a good thing. And actually realizing that
first and foremost is key. Because to me it means you care. It actually just means that you actually care about what's about to unfold. If I didn't get butterflies, if I didn't get nervous, I'd actually think there's something wrong. Um, so take it from my end here, listeners. It's okay to feel that. And here's another thing. If when you're lining up in that start tunnel and you've got those butterflies, just remember, look to your left, look to your right, and everyone has those butterflies. You're not the only one. I sometimes feel like I'll be honest, even myself lining against only 14 others most of the time, you can still feel a little bit lonely and isolated out there. But just knowing it mentally that everyone is feeling somewhat the same, can be very I guess warming or easier. Now, pre-race, I'll be the first to say that you want to make sure days and hours before the race you're trying to do anything in your power not to necessarily think about it 24/7. So do anything that gets your mind off the race. Do anything that allows you to decompress mentally. And that just might be doing something that is fun, or doing something that just takes your mind off things like reading, or going for a walk, or listening to a random podcast, not about fitness, just those little things. I tend to gravitate to listening to random podcasts, not about fitness, like listening to things like music as well. So, but then closer you get, of course, as soon as you arrive to an event, you are going to get those nerves. I personally say to my athletes when I get asked this question, Anthony, that your breathing and just being in control of your breath is so important when it comes to this type of nervous feeling. So whether or not you start in the warm up area, pre warm up, just start really listening to your breath, and whether it is box breathing, um, and trying to be in control of the breath can really help reduce those butterflies and nerves. But just to wrap my end up, take it take it from my end that it's okay to have them as well. Just mentally know that it's okay to feel them. And in my eyes, it's a good thing because it just means that you care about what's about to happen.
Cool. Uh, yeah, I mean, I think like if you've put the work in and it's it, you know what you're able to do, and if you've had a training program that has prepared you to understand your body and your paces and everything, you're gonna know what you're gonna go out there to do, and you know what you're capable of too. Um, if if you don't know that kind of stuff, you might be ill prepared and you might be in for a big shock.
Mm.
Uh, but a lot of the times when you feel those nerves or butterflies, it's like it's really internal. It's only you putting pressure on yourself. Like, just as an example, JK, do you think that when you're on the start line and you're out there racing, or you're about to start and you get like those nerves of, say, oh, what is Georgie gonna think if I don't win? Like, blah, blah. Like, that's not what matters to her. She's not gonna care if you win. Now, Georgie might come in from the side there and just say, yes, that's all. But she's gonna at the end of at the finish line, she's gonna be there. She's gonna give you a hug, a kiss, like no matter how sweaty you are, she's just gonna be like happy that you're out there having fun and doing what you love to do. And um more likely than not, she'll match your excitement. And so most of these people that I imagine would have butterflies, like this, and I mean, I got a lot of butterflies too when I line up there or when I would wrestle and stuff as well. Um, the more confident you are in what you've done leading up to that, the like less kind of butterflies you might feel. But what I was going there, JK, with that whole thing is like, just imagine if Georgie's racing and you're on the sideline. Do you care what place she comes in? She might feel like a lot of pressure, right?
Yeah.
Like that she has to perform, but it's self-inflicted. And so a
Correct.
lot of times we just have to kind of let that go and know that the people that, are there to support you are there literally to support you.
Yeah. And to to stem on that, Anthony, I always say that no matter what happens, the sun comes up the next day.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what happens, you're not a different person if you win or nothing changes personally. You're the same person, whether
Yeah.
you win, lose, or draw.
Yeah. For like the next
Um,
10 billion years, the sun's going to come up. So,
exactly. So actually, yeah, detaching yourself from that is really important.
yeah.
Hard, but really important.
Yep. Another thing you can do is just talking about it is like give yourself multiple goals during a race, some should be like very achievable. Like I want to on my first, you can do time goals, you can do place goals, you can do like just achievement goals, whatever motivates you. Okay. Some of these goals that you have, these milestones, should be very achievable. Things that like, you just collect them like rings and Sonic, like boom, 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 I'm getting them. And then some of them should be like reach or stretch goals, things that like, okay, I'm gonna have to like extend myself a little bit if I want to hit this,
Yeah,
and that could be something simple. Like I want to start the wall balls with 40 unbroken,
yeah,
if that's the level you're at. Like 40 is a big milestone for you. That's great. That's a good stretch goal. So you get there and you do 40. Or hey, I want to do the farmer carry with only one set down today.
yeah,
Like that's a good stretch goal. Like if that's what that so for some people that could be a stretch goal. For other people that could be missing their goal if their goal is to do an unbroken. So like just understand your level, where you're at, what you're going to be capable of, and set these little milestones. Focus on what's in front of you as the next thing.
yeah, definitely. And I think coming back to that is understanding your own race strategy and pacing, right, is very important. So, having a coach or someone to bounce off is very important for that, and not getting stuck in your head about what you think you need to do. And having someone to actually not give, but help you with those goals is very important. And understanding a pace, understanding a strategy, right?
So yeah, it's
Um,
helping you make something realistic and achievable.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
cool. Before we go on to our next topic here, just gonna do a little intro here for your hat.
Cheers. If you can see,
Yep,
I'm
I see it.
drinking Pillar Performance Triple Magnesium, as I always do at about this time of my day, which is almost 6 p.m. I always drink my Triple Magnesium Pillar from Pillar, sorry, which comes from thefeed.com, which is pretty much an Amazon of all things supplementation for what we do as hybrid athletes.
Yeah.
I get everything from the feed with respect to my gels, my pillar, magnesium, my beta alanine, citrulline. What else do I take, Georgie? Protein, all the rest of
They
it. So
they have so much stuff.
it's so good.
Yeah, definitely want to jump on that, guys. I would say they support a lot of the athletes in this space, and yeah, that'd be cool if everybody supports them.
Yeah.
All right, So going on, we want to talk about easy means easy. Something we say a lot, right? Um, but one thing you need to do is, especially with high volume in a program like most of our episodes, we talk about doing this at high volume or doing that. You know, I think everybody knows that at this point, my program, I believe your program too, is high volume. And
Yeah.
so you need to know, like, in order to do everything, you have to do it. You can't be beating yourself up with massive amounts of intensity and VO2 work every single day.
Correct. Yep.
So easy means easy. Usually, what I say that means is that if you're going off heart rate and you're working on like a 5 zone model, you know, we do double threshold. So those double thresholds would be like the only days you're hitting zone 4. Uh, the and then the one day a week that we have like the strength run or the X workout, like that is the zone 4 plus day, you know.
Yeah.
You might get up into zone 5. But that's it. Everything else you see except for on those days is either active recovery or easy. Even if it is like sled pushes, wall balls, things like that, you're not taking it at a rate that's going to spike you or keep you in a high zone for a long time. Uh, and so,
On.
however you have to do that, manage that, it's just remember easy means easy,
Mm,
uh, which is generally zone 1 and 2. I'm pretty okay with on some efforts if they sneak into zone 3, but I don't want them like living there.
yeah. On that note, right, I think a lot of HYROX athletes or hybrid athletes would think that every compromise running workout that, or even to the point of any HYROX workout that doesn't involve running. I'll just give you an example of a workout that I did this week, or a very similar one. Fairly sure it was something along the lines of 800-meter run, 100 double unders, calories on the echo bike, and then wall balls. I think a lot of people would think a workout like that is all about intensity, is all about is all about trying to get it done as quickly as possible. But Anthony, who programmed that workout, particularly said that my run was at an easy pace. It's not about the run being um, at a threshold pace or anything above that. So understanding that your compromise work and your HYROX workouts don't necessarily have to be all out guns blazing workouts, intense. It's more about accumulating the repetition rather than uh, the intensity. Um, the intensity will come and should come at the right times of your building block. And that is, 2 or 3 weeks out from a race, but more importantly, you are touching somewhat in some sort of intensity on a double threshold day, if you do threshold work. So, yeah, easy is easy. And just on that as well, Anthony, like if you do look at heart rate, great. If you don't, that's okay as well. And if you don't, and you've got an easy run, whatever naturally happens when you think, I'm going to run this easy, is the pace. Don't overthink that. Just if something should be easy, go out there and run easy. And heart rate is great. I use my heart rate metrics a lot, but also sometimes it's good not to because you start understanding your own body a little bit more and being more intuitive with what's going on as well.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, so everyone, I just think if you think you're going too hard on your easy days, you probably are. So back off a little. That's one of the things that we've said over and over, JK, is as coaches, the number one job we do is slow people down.
Yeah.
Yep.
You like that one, don't
Everybody,
you?
everybody likes to go fast. Nobody really has a problem going fast. It's got to slow people down a lot.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be faster or go faster and do more these days.
Yeah.
Do more. And that's another one as coaches. It's like it's not always more is better.
No. All right. Um, we've said multiple times on here that we're not pundits, but I just want to bring a little bit of news to what's going on because there are two big events this weekend. More Elite 15 double qualifiers, one in Paris, one in Miami. I have the start list in front of me for both. So I want to go over it. Let's go over the men in Paris first because, dude, this race is loaded.
Really. I'm
Um,
excited.
I can't believe there's only three spots they're giving away here.
Right.
It is absolutely packed, and we'll get into some of them. But first off, it goes at 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday.
Oh, wow. Sunday morning, Paris time. Okay.
Yeah. So 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday for me is 10:30 p.m. On Saturday.
On Saturday.
And
Yeah.
for you, that means it would
It's,
be like 3:30 p.m. in
yeah.
the afternoon.
Yeah.
Uh, but have you ever done a 7:30 a.m. HYROX?
I've done an 8 a.m. actually. I've done
Have-
a doubles at 8 a.m., but not 7:30. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's early.
So, all right. I just want to read off some of these guys. So there are some absolute monster teams here. Starting with Tim Vinish and Yannick Chopla. So
That's a good
two
team.
Elite 15 guys. I think Yannick is still going for he's still going for his individual qualification, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll do that. Um, Another team I very selfishly am rooting for, Bo Wills and Eugenio Bianchi.
Yeah.
Um, really hope they get it. Another Elite 15 team, Jonathan Wynn and Graham Holiday.
That'll be
Um,
a solid team. Yeah.
if I stopped there, that's enough. But listen to these other teams, and like just I don't know who both the members of some of these teams are, but I know at least one of them, and I'll tell you if I do. But Alphonse Duruiz and Pedro Torrell,
Yep.
Florian Gast and Fabian Eislauer.
Wow. That's a
Um,
solid team.
just as a note, Fabian Eisenlauer, he he and Alex Ronkovic hold the second fastest pro doubles time ever.
Yep.
Um, excuse me, that was before Houston because Houston's not in there. So I
Yep.
think they're one of the top five times now. I think they're actually third
Yep.
because you and Jake beat them. Um, Tom Hogan and Michael Stephens,
Oh, wow.
Peter Schiller and Kiernan White,
Hmm.
Dieter Schwartzkopf and Marcus Rose, Joffrey Voisin and Guillaume Lavoie, Hide Wurzma and Cherry Willingberg, Jake Williamson and Aaron Travers, Aaron Woodman and Danny Ray. Uh, those are the names that I recognize in that first heat. I'm sorry if I didn't say your name. Uh, those are the ones that I'm recognizing that
There's
are
some great
listed as
teams.
in in
Yeah.
the top heat. Yeah.
Great teams.
But I mean, that's like eight, nine teams that are going to be monsters.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams ended up on the podium.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
All right, on to well here because just gotta have it up. Miami women. That's the one
Mhm.
I have up now. Is I think, and maybe JK, you'll agree with me. I think the team that wins is Jess Petro and Maria Fetchik.
I agree.
Or
Totally agree.
I think they end up on the podium. Another great team, the team that actually took third in Houston and then were passed by a later heat team and ended up fourth. You're talking Katie Simonson and Chris Rogowski.
That's right. Yep.
Um, and then here are some other names of teams that I see. So you got Camila Massa and Meg Jacoby. You got Kat Fossbender and Kelsey Hochleitner.
Yep.
Uh, Sorry, I'm scrolling through really fast. I don't see. I'm just looking for names that I recognize quickly, so I might be missing people. Uh, Tara Jackson
That's
and
right.
yeah, Tara Jackson and Bridget Brown. Uh, Sorry, I don't see. Oh, I think Lauren Stallwood and Jesse Smith are two CrossFitters. I think Jesse Smith is Chandler Smith's wife.
Okay.
Yep, and those are the ones that I recognize. So
Yep.
some great teams there. Uh, that's going to be very interesting to watch. All right, so let's do the men in Miami, and then we'll go back to the women in Paris.
Yep.
All right, so some of them. Here's a question: do you think any of the men in Miami take your record?
No,
No,
not
not a
at all.
chance. None of them break 50 minutes.
None of them break 50 minutes. There might be one or two that break the 51, but
What about those guys in Paris?
no, I don't I can't see any of those guys in Paris breaking the 50, no. Do you? Like, but
I mean, it's going to be close. I think Tim and Yannick have the capability to,
I agree. Yeah.
depending on the course. And I think that maybe in Florian and Fabian have the capability to, but whether they do it or not, I don't know. It would have to be
Course dependent.
it would have to be favorable to them.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So going on to Miami Pro Men, going down the list here, just start time in the top heat, Colin Stiefer and Jack Driscoll, David Magida and Mark Gaudet, Noah Olson
Hmm.
and Chandler Smith. Um, so Rich Ryan and Paleo Menendez Fernandez, who also have one of the top, actually, I think they're in sixth now, sixth or seventh for fastest times in the men's pro doubles. But I believe they still have the world record for the men's open doubles.
Open doubles. Yeah.
Um, and then going down the list real fast. Yeah, I don't see. Oh, Rylan Shadag and Ryan Kent.
Yeah.
So Rylan and Ryan. Uh, and I see a couple names I recognize, but not their partners. I don't know if they're gonna make. Yeah, that's everybody in the top heat. Um, I think there's some capable teams here, but I believe Kiernan Parkinson and Tony Ravel are supposed to be in this as well,
Yeah, I heard that as well. Yeah.
but I don't see their name on here. So it'll be very interesting to see if that happens. Oh, Keith Hardwick and Stephen Pelkerfer too. Uh, Keith is Keith is a hybrid engine guy, so awesome. All right, let's go back to the women. And the reason we're doing this, guys, is because I want you to know who's in here. Because, like I said, we had a very special thing that we were talking about announcing. And JK, do you want to talk about it while I look this up?
Well, no, I think you should announce it.
But it was all
I don't
your
know what to.
idea.
Well, it is my idea, but it's also something that I'm going to potentially be a part of, but also not eat every week. So, and we are straight arming my sister here, but um, I personally think you should be the one to announce it, Anthony.
So, okay. So JK wants he tells me, I got this great idea, you should do it. Um and I think you should do it with my sister. And because of that, and JK's strong arming and his logical uh puzzling map that he drew me and convinced me with some very light strong arming.
Yeah.
Um
Very logical, very puzzling.
yeah, no name yet, but we're going to start a live show. Not on the Hybrid Coaching Podcast, but it'll be all news, all pendants. We'll write the storylines. We'll do the everything going through. We'll cover media requests, so it'll be a mashup between Hybrid Sports Media down in Australia that covers all the APAC stuff, and myself with the Hybrid Coaching Podcast, and we'll go over just all hybrid news that we can think of. We'll stay on topic, and we will for sure um, bring you guys whatever we can. And the idea is, if it grows and we're able to, maybe we start, uh, doing things where we start paying JK back in a way by strong arming him, since he's the one that tells us to do this. We strong arm him and make him race people on the live show in a workout for money, maybe in the future.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that at all
And
as
every
well.
workout will probably be running in burpees 6 rounds. So you better get on it, guys.
Correct.
We'll write the
Correct.
workouts, maybe. But it's going to be a news show. And I suppose if Bernice listens to this, I guess we're starting next Wednesday.
You are indeed. You are indeed. And I'm head manager of the new live show. And if you have any special requests, please DM me on jk.jameskelly.
And if you have any questions or you're curious about it, also DM JK. We're just going to say DM JK about anything you have related to it.
For sure. For
Uh,
sure.
all right, guys, I'm going to read the women going to Paris now. There are some strong women's teams here. It's going to be interesting. So, Seka Arning and Rebecca Frank. I don't know who Rebecca Frank is, but we know Seka punched her ticket to Worlds in the individual in Glasgow. It shows on here Kate Davey and Zara Piergianni. I know for a fact they are not going, though. So you can scratch them off this list. Anche Hardis and Jennifer Nikolaus. Both of them have ran in majors previously. Ange, I think, with her last Elite 15 was 2023 World Championships in Manchester, while Jennifer Nikolaus ran in the major in Vienna last year.
Yep.
Dina Hogan and Karina Kreisel. Jezebel Kramer and Munza Curio. Jana Liebenstedt and Simone Feld. That's going to be a strong team. Uh, Caroline Leb and Sabrina Hahn. Those are two names that have been around and hovering close to the elite field for a while. And then a very strong team of Alice Schur and Tanya Strohschneider. Alice Schur, I believe her and Alex Ronkovic together on the mixed doubles world record. So she's been
Yep.
on a mixed doubles world record team before. And Tanya Strohschneider is the woman that went to the Olympic trials for the triathlon in her
Wow.
country. I believe she was not the one selected for the Olympics, but she went to the Olympic trials and she ran in the Glasgow major. Uh, so this past one. And then looking at the other women here, I'm sorry if I'm not mentioning you. I don't know everybody's names, and some of these might be hard for me to pronounce. Uh, Margot Vanden Linden Loof and Charlotte Vanden Linden Loof. Linda Meyer and Viola Oberlander. That is going to be a powerhouse team.
That's a great team, yeah.
Yep. And so that rounds out that top heat. But wow, that's gonna be a fast one.
It's an exciting weekend, isn't it? Exciting
Very exciting.
weekend for
I
the
I mean, these next 3 weekends, like we talked about, they are exciting. You have Elite 15 doubles in both Miami and Paris this weekend. You have the last chance qualifier happening next weekend, and then you have the Elite 15 London Elite 15 doubles qualifier that I know probably some people who miss out here will
We'll
attempt to
go to
go
that. Yeah.
there. And I know you'll be adding Kate and Zara in. So it's going to
So
be,
they're definitely going to be racing in London.
oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they're the Kate and Zara are the women's doubles world champions right now. They're the
Yeah.
reigning ones, right? So they're, of course, going to take their shot. They did want to do Paris. Kate posted about it. She wasn't ready to do Paris. It was too soon after her ankle injury in Glasgow. She literally started running this week.
Okay.
So you're talking. There's no way she would have done Paris this weekend like that.
Yeah.
And um, being 2 weeks from now, 2.5 weeks from now, being able to do London, even that's going to be a little bit tight, but I think she'll be able to get through that one pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh, she hasn't lost any fitness. She just needs to get that impact loading back. So
Yeah. Correct.
super excited for her because Kate's going to be just she's a tremendous athlete, tremendous person.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great to see her and Zara do it. And I think it kind of helps because Zara's got the LCQ now next weekend. I think it's a good idea for her, just with where she's at, to be focusing on that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
all right. And then, do you have anything else you want to add?
Not really, Anthony. I've got to, I apologize. I do have to run,
You're good.
shortly,
You're good. I
but,
know it's almost dinner time and bedtime for you. So, um,
compared to you at I'm assuming it's 1:17 a.m. in
it
the
is
morning for you.
1:17 a.m. Anyways, guys, coming up, if you guys haven't already, you should go look at my wife Lauren, her YouTube channel. It's fantastic. There's a couple videos coming up that we did. We just did a training video that you might want to take a look at, and that one should be released probably, I'd say, a week from now, maybe. And then another video that will be coming out within the next couple days. And that one's is just kind of a recap of the Washington, D.C. race she did and explaining what HYROX is. Fantastic video, as well as the training video that we did. I'll leave it up to her to announce it, but look in that space. If you guys like what we're talking about, if you do want to watch the live show that's happening next Wednesday now, JK's doubling me up on podcasts in a week, then watch this space. JK, I'm sure will announce it on his stories, and I'll
Yeah.
definitely put it on my stories. We just have to think of a name and a cover title. It will be a live show. I believe we decided it'll be Wednesday in the US and Thursday morning for Australia time,
Right, time. Yeah.
which would be probably later in the after. It'd be pretty late in the afternoon or evening for Europe. But it
Yeah.
should address everything global and worldwide. So I hope you guys look at that. If you do have any topics or questions you want to send us, give us a holler, leave us a comment, write a review, or send JK a DM.
That's it, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, JK. I hope you have a good one.
You too.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Hybrid Coaching Podcast. If you'd like to get in contact with James Kelly to seek out some coaching or for general questions and inquiries, please go to Instagram and find him at jk.jameskelly. Or you can find him and Georgie Vesley on YouTube at James Kelly and Georgie Vesley. If you'd like to contact Anthony or seek out programming or coaching questions from the Hybrid Engine, please go to Instagram at the Hybrid Engine or at a Wild Parasini. Thank you again. Have a great day.